Welcome back to Bee Spice. In this session, we'll talk about gasket selection for the control valve. Okay, so you would have prepared the data sheet, right? In the data sheet, you would have involved in selection of graphite and selection of Teflon, all those, right? Yes. So now we are going to focus on the details of those each and every type of gaskets and its application in this session. As you can see here, you can see here, this one, this part, the bonnet gasket, right? Then you can see the seat here, seat ring gasket. So all those gasket related, we are going to talk. So which type of gasket and what is the temperature rating it should withstand, all those details we are going to dive deeper. Okay, let's move on. Okay, in fact, the topic is temperature concern and gasket material selection. Okay, so the topic is temperature concerns and gasket material selection. So now you focus for this diagram. As you can see here, you have this control valve diagram, right? So as you can see here, this is your bonnet gasket, and you see here this is a spiral wound gasket. As you can see here, the V-type structure. Yes, I'm going to explain that, but just before some intro, then you can see here the flat sheet gasket, ring gasket, seat ring gasket. This is the seat. As you can see here, this is the seat. This is the bonnet gasket. Okay, so now I will focus one by one. Spiral wound gasket. Okay, spiral wound gasket, this one. Okay, so temperature gradient can cause the combined height of the seat ring and the gauge to change because of the thermal expansion and contraction. So the point is temperature gradients can cause the combined height of the seat ring and the gauge to change because of the thermal expansion and contraction. So for this reason, a spiral wound gasket is included in many valve designs. So this is the one typical spiral wound gasket. Just think about it, visualize. Okay. So spiral wound gasket is actually a spring that can absorb a slight amount of cage expansion. We discuss here, right? Cage to change, right? The expansion. So this spiral wound gasket is actually a spring. Can see this kind of arrangement that can absorb a slight amount of cage expansion while maintaining a tight seal. Okay. Few more to add on the spiral wound gasket. So spiral wound gasket is a coil of a metal alloy that has been formed into a V shape. As you can see here, so this is the V shape. Okay, so each V shape in the finished gasket is separated from the next V by a filler material. So there are so many V's, right? So in between you have the filler material. So that is the point. So this diagram is a exploded view. This one is a exploded view of this. Okay, I mean sorry, this is the exploded view of this. Okay, so same here. This is the exploded view of this seat ring. So this is the exploded view of the bonnet gasket. Okay, friends. Okay, good. So that is the V shape. Okay, I think this is a typo error. V shape. V shape. Okay. So this is about the spiral wound gasket. Of course, I am going to give a summary in the last slide. So this is just to explain about the construction and design aspects of the spiral wound gasket. Then we have a few more. Bonnet gasket. This is what, as you can see here, the bonnet gasket. So bonnet gasket is a flat sheet. Flat sheet. Okay, gasket that creates a tight seal between the bonnet gasket surface and the valve body gasket surface. So that is the flat sheet actually. Okay, bonnet gasket is a flat sheet, as you can see here, friends. This one. So this is your bonnet gasket. Okay, so this is the spiral wound gasket which we have seen in the last slide, and this is the bonnet gasket. This is the what do you call tight seal. It's a flat sheet. Okay. So then shim, you have this shim right in between this. Yes, shim prevent the sharp edge of the spiral wound gasket, this one, from cutting the flat sheet bonnet gasket. So basically the shim is in between the bonnet gasket and the spiral wound gasket. So it prevent the sharp edge of the spiral wound gasket from cutting the flat sheet gasket, bonnet gasket. So this is about spiral wound, bonnet gasket and shim. Then we have a seat ring gasket, this one. Okay, seat ring gasket is a flat sheet again, as you can see here, flat sheet gasket that prevents the leakage between the seat ring and the valve body. Okay, so that is a point. Okay, so this is your valve body and this is your seat ring. Okay, so these are the gaskets. I hope you understand the meaning of each spiral wound gasket, bonnet gasket, shim gasket, and seat ring gasket. Okay, not basically it's a shim, right? So not a gasket, it's shim, actually sheet. Okay. Now we go into the summary. Okay. So if you talk about this gasket type, spiral wound and flat, right? Two type. So what is the material? Okay. So the material is basically 316L composition. This is the material. So what it's used actually? Limited to 450 degree Fahrenheit for constant temperature and to 300 degree Fahrenheit for temperature cycling. You got it, friends? So a spiral wound gasket is made of a stainless steel that is filled with a composition material. Okay. So as you can see here, the standard gasket material is limited to 450 degree Fahrenheit and must be, we can also derate it to 300 degree, the temperature cycle repeatedly. Okay, so that is a point. For high temperature, say for example, up to 1100 degree Fahrenheit, and for temperature cycling application, an inconel or other alloy that is filled with the graphite material is specified. So that is the point. So basically, if the temperature is limited to 450, you can go with the 316. Okay, friends. If it is more than it is more than what you call more than 300 or maybe up to 1100, then better to go with inconel and also graphite that is filled with or other alloy that is filled with graphite material. So this is the point. Okay, then we have monal also and this corrosion resistance. So if you are looking for a corrosion resistive application, then you can go for this monal. And of course, the temperature we need to watch out for 450 degree. Then monal and PTFE composition that is also suited for corrosion resistant, but for the 300 degree Fahrenheit. Just watch out for all these things. So this is about the spiral bond. Then we talk about the flat sheet gasket. A common standard for flat sheet gasket is a composition material. Composition material. Okay. So example like Fisher, that is also they use their own proprietary materials also. So most composition materials are suitable for temperature up to 1100 degree Fahrenheit. Okay, high temperature and of course temperature cycling services. Okay. But the problem is they will not provide the required corrosion resistance. So options such as PTFE coated with a monal, okay, provide corrosion resistance up to 300 degree. But again, at reduced temperature rating. So this is about the summary of all these gasket and its application and its material composition and the temperature, friends. Hope it was useful. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video. Bye bye. Take care.